Hello bookworms, bibliophiles, and lovers of all things literature. Welcome to the next chapter of the Braless Book Guild podcast, where we discard our bras and move gaily forward to talk about books both published and unpublished. We are your hosts, Jenna.
Hi, guys.
Marissa.
Hello.
And I'm Megan. All right, before we get started, let's talk about what we're drinking. Let's do, Marissa, what are you drinking?
I am drinking the Jolly Rancher tea, the wild berry hibiscus tea.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
We've talked about that a lot.
A lot, yeah.
It's very refreshing, especially as it's warming up, so
Yeah.
it's definitely a good tea.
That's why I went with that.
Yeah, and how about you, Marissa? Or,
How about you,
Yeah,
Marissa?
how
What
about
are
you,
you
Marissa?
drinking?
I am drinking. Just a weird, repeat on the track.
we're in the Groundhog Day. All right, Jenna, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking the spicy chai. I'm going to be very caffeinated today.
Yeah.
No, I felt like doing a chai tea today, so I brought over all the equipment to make it all fancy over here, and I had a nice chai. What about you, Megan?
Good. I'm drinking Thai tea again, same as last time. It's just good as an iced tea because it's also very refreshing and it's very sweet. So it fits perfectly with a summer sweet vibes. Also, it's orange, so we got red, bright red, pinkish over there with Marissa's Jolly Rancher. Mine's bright orange.
Yeah.
And is yours like a cream color?
It'd probably be pretty brown.
Okay.
But
Did you put milk in it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But it's still pretty brown.
Yeah.
That's okay, though. I mean, it looks white on top if you look at just the top of it.
If it was a butterfly pea flower tea, it'd be bright blue and perfect for summer.
If I had brought next week, I will probably be drinking the butterfly pea flower tea. Love it. It's one of my favorites.
I think that's a good idea for next week. All right. So, can we get teas that make the colors of
A flag.
a flag? Yeah.
I was just thinking about when you go to a bar and you get those layered drinks.
The layered drinks.
Yeah.
Can
I
you do
can
a
make
layered
layered
tea?
drinks. I could do it. I can make us layered
Okay.
teas. Maybe we got to figure out what I'm going to do.
She says it very confidently, and we will see how that actually turns out.
No, okay. So here's the thing. I've been really obsessed with it, and I really want to make it for you guys. I've been making a matcha strawberry lemonade. And actually, it would be perfect because it's strawberry puree with lemonade with the green matcha, and I just have to find a way to put butterfly pea flower on top and float it, and we should be good. Because then it's not perfect, but it's going to be red, yellow, green, blue. So
Okay.
it'll all pretty much turn brown once we mix it up.
Yeah. We'll just take a picture, the perfect timing picture
Yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah.
As I'm pouring the butterfly pea flower.
There you go. We'll turn that into a video for our
Yeah.
Instagram. We'll get better.
Yeah.
Like we've been talking about.
It'll happen.
All right. So let's talk about going gaily forward for this special Pride Month episode. Do you guys want to talk about that reference first? I'm pretty sure we talked about it in a previous episode, but for longtime listeners, they might have forgotten. So
Yeah.
Or
Talk about
short-time
that.
listeners who
Or
have
short
not
time.
heard it.
everybody then.
Yeah.
A reminder.
Where did that reference come from?
It's kind of a family reference for us.
Even though it started with a friend.
Yeah, it was a friend of my mom's. No,
It was Brent.
it wasn't.
Yeah. I'm fairly
Crap.
certain it was Brent.
Oh, okay. Well, it's possible. It's possible that I just don't remember. But it's been said so often in our family that we cannot remember where it originated. Just that it originated
Jenna can.
outside of our family.
I remember it was Brent.
Okay,
I'm pretty
sisters.
sure it wasn't.
Okay,
But it's
sisters.
okay. So at one point my mom was telling us the story, and from my recollection, and Marissa says it was someone telling us the story with Brent, but the friend was being given directions, and they were saying oh, you have to turn here and then go straight. And so then they just started swerving and going, I can't do it, because they're gay.
Yeah.
So every time we say go straight, instead of saying go straight, we say go gaily forward.
There you go.
So, yeah.
Because we can't go straight. We have to go gaily forward.
Right.
Exactly.
We refuse to go straight.
So that's the running joke in our family.
And so since that was about driving in a car and sort of traveling, we're
Yes.
going to travel outside the U.S. and talk about LGBT books that are foreign.
Yeah.
And because, even though
We're going to
People
spend
may
our
think-
summer abroad.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. A summer abroad. That's a good
Title, maybe?
title.
But it's not gay enough.
Summer
A
and
space
abroad.
broad.
So far, what I've saved this
Summer
recording.
and her broad.
There you go. I saved this recording around the world in 180 gays.
Oh, I love it.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. All right. So, yes, we're going to talk about foreign books. This is also kind of one that's really hard to research, at least in my experience, because you have, like, what it wanted to give me was American written books set outside of the U.S. So, like, the girl, She Who Became the Sun.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Even though it is a Chinese retelling, the author, as far as I know, is either currently living in America or has some kind of connection to America. So it is not a book that was written originally in Chinese and translated.
Yeah.
So yeah, trans space lated.
Hey. That's that could be a title.
That could be a title.
Translated.
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay. So do you guys have any that, like, right off the top of your head that you can think of that you have either read or that you know about?
So the funny thing is I don't think that I've read any, or at least that I know of. I don't know that they were abroad. I do have on my list from Marissa's friend Steven, actually. He told me to read
Friend
Orange...
Steven?
Best friend Steven.
Best friend Steven.
Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit by
Yeah.
Jeanette Winterson, which is English, North English. But as far as anything else goes, I don't know of anything. So I'm just going to start, like, building a TBR of this.
Yes.
And actually, it was funny because when I was looking this up, I really, like, 2 seconds ago, because I didn't do my homework, I got a lot of translated books, and I thought it would be fun to do, you know how the Always Fully Book does the books around the world?
Yeah.
But doing specifically books around the world of LGBTQ.
Oh, I'm going to do that for next year's planner. That would be so good.
I thought just, like, specifically they have to be LGBTQ
Yeah.
books, which I thought would be fun.
I don't know how, because one of them is set in the Arctic/Antarctica. I don't know how I'm going to find one, but hey, readers out there, listeners out there,
We will figure it out.
if you know one, let us know.
Maybe one of our readers will write you one really quickly. A
Hey,
novella.
listen, please. You know, honestly, I'm pretty sure
All
Chuck
10 of our listeners.
Did I say readers
Yes.
too? I thought that after. I was like, did I say reader or
we
listener?
could just call them. They're readers.
We are an audiobook now. We do call these chapters, so
Yeah, and volumes
and
so.
volumes.
I'm pretty sure maybe Chuck Wendig has something that's written in the Arctic. Maybe something about falling for the snow.
Maybe
you
you
go.
could find something that just has no romance and
Not-
it can count as asexual.
Chuck Wendig, Chuck Tingle.
I don't know who that is.
Them Chucks.
Those Chucks.
You don't know Chuck Tingle?
I
Up
don't.
Chucks.
Chuck Tingle is an amazing author who there will be a story that is released. So it will be like when they talked about the person that was added to the group chat for the like national security talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
Chuck Tingle will, like, the very next day come out with a book being like, I got to get these the titles. Chuck Tingle titles. It'll be like, sorry, please excuse me, prepare yourselves. So it's like Pounded in My Butt by My Own Butt. Space Raptor Butt Invasion.
Oh, bury your gaze.
Yeah, so
I get it.
that's their more well-known traditional quote books, but Chuck Tingle will, like, take a news story and write about it in a way that is like both, like, the titles are just hilarious.
Turned
Things
gay
like
by
that.
the existential dread that I may actually be a character in a Chuck Tingle book by
There you
Chuck
go.
Tingle.
Exactly.
I just happened to look up his books. And
Yep.
That was the one that stuck out to me, which
I'm-
is almost as long as a Panic at the Disco song.
There you go.
Almost.
Almost.
I'm gay for my living billionaire jet plane. Things like that. Anyway.
Yeah.
So yes. So I don't know how that started. I'm sorry. How did that begin? This conversation, this
That
entire.
he would give you an Antarctic book.
Oh yes, a book about snow, getting pounded in the butt by snow or something.
There you go.
Falling in love with snow. Who knows?
Interesting.
Yeah. Chuck Tingle. I want to read Chuck Tingle's work so bad every time.
I'm now completely enamored by all of his books.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That was one of the recommendations for the June Always Fully Booked thing, was I wanted to really read Bury Your Gaze.
yeah,
Which I think is like a mystery thriller.
it sounds like it.
Yeah, so I want to read that one. And I think it might have like some slight historical context, but I'm not sure about that. I'll have to read it to find out.
There you go.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we're going to talk about, so you had mentioned orange is not the only fruit. Is that the?
Yeah, that's the only one that I know of that is on my TBR and or as of right now, or that I have read, but I have not read anything so that I know of that is LGBTQ abroad.
There you go.
How about you, Marissa?
I was telling Jenna, I haven't read it yet, but I absolutely love the movie. It's called, and I already got away from it. So it's called Pride, The Unlikely Story of the True Heroes of the Miners' Strike by Tim Tate.
Oh.
And I absolutely love the movie. The movie's just called Pride. It was made in 2014. But it's basically this like gay group in London that decided to support the miners' strike in the 80s, and it was a really cool story of like these two people that were like protesting things separately decided to come together and help each other out.
That's pretty cool.
They formed the LGSM, Lesbians and Gays Support the Miners, and it's honestly a hilarious movie, but also very touching and really cool.
You sent me that clip and I just loved it.
Yeah,
It was the best.
There's a clip of the lesbians in the back of the bus, and they're singing "Every Woman is a Lesbian at Heart," and they get like the guy gets upset. He's like, "You can't just say every woman's a lesbian at heart." And they're like, "Why not?" And it's like, "'Cause my mom's not a lesbian." They're like, "Well, how do you know?" How do I know my mom's not a lesbian? They're like, "You just can't make sweeping generalizations like that. It's not acceptable." And they go back into singing the song again, and at the very end they go, "Including Reggie's mom."
Which is just the best.
Yeah. But
I love it.
It's hilarious. It's entertaining. It's very relatable. It taught me a lot of things about the miners' strike. Like, obviously it doesn't go too deep into the miners' strike, but it taught me about UK history.
Yeah.
So I'd like to read the book too. But yeah.
What about you, Megan? Have you read a lot of LGBTQ abroad novels?
I originally thought Let the Right One In, which is the vampire novel by a Swedish author who I'm going to butcher their name. There's going to be a lot of name butchering today, you guys,
Oh,
just
yeah.
to preface. We will really do our best, but just understand that...
That is actually the title of the show. We butchered the name.
Yeah. And it is John Ajvide Lindqvist. I originally thought the character of Eli, who is the little child vampire, was like originally thought to be a boy, but rereading the synopsis, because I read it back in I think 2018. Oh no, dang, you're right. Sorry, I take it back. Skimming through the synopsis, it shows that Eli is actually a girl, but then it comes out that Eli was a boy named Elias, who was castrated.
Yikes.
Ugh. And was turned into a vampire over 200 years ago, and now goes by she. So
Okay.
interesting. So I guess it still is LGBT adjacent, I would say. So yeah, that is the one that I read that I can name off the top of my head. And I know that there's a couple movies out there. I think I originally heard that the original translation was really bad, and they did another translation, which I think is what I read. Yeah, so that's the only one that I really know off the top of my head. But we have we have done a bit of research today to kind of go into that more in depth, so we can give recommendations, or maybe not recommendations, but we can
Talk about
you
books that
know.
we want to read.
Yeah.
And maybe you've read them and you can tell us if they're worth reading or if you have recommendations based off of them.
I am curious to read, because it's something that I did see when I was book shopping, but I also wasn't committed enough to buy it yet. There's books about Anne Lister and her diaries, and just people transcribing her diaries and what they actually said because she wrote in code.
Oh, wow.
So I'm curious of that.
Who is Ann Lister?
Ann Lister, she lived in Shibden Hall in Europe. I don't remember exactly where that is, but basically she is a Gentleman Jack. That, if you've ever heard of the show Gentleman Jack or seen things about it, she was the reason for that. So basically she kind of owned land. Didn't really own land because she was a woman.
When she wasn't allowed to?
She collected taxes. She was like a big businesswoman, and then she was a lesbian. She slept with other women and actually ended up living with another woman and like marrying her in secret type thing.
Yeah.
Obviously not legally, but did so in their own eyes. Also named Anne. The two Annes got married.
Anns.
But yeah, so she was pretty notorious because she kind of bent those gender rules of like, I'm gonna go collect taxes and be this businesswoman and be like really cool and strong and sleep with women and stuff like that, but was an actual person. And they have her actual diaries that they've like translated and transcribed so that people can read them.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That does sound interesting.
now obviously it's somebody's diary, so I'm sure it's boring at most points, but
I don't know. You know, Anne Frank got, very popular. So did a lot of the anonymous books. It had like the Go Ask Alice and stuff like that, which are more diary books. So
yeah, but I just mean like she probably talks a lot about her business ventures that are like
that's
not
totally
important.
true.
And then, I'm gonna woo over this Ann Walker person.
Yeah.
I'm going to corrupt her. I don't know. It's debated. I don't know enough about the actual stuff. I watched Gentleman Jack.
Now I want to find something on the history of Emily Dickinson.
Yeah. Just read more Emily Dickinson.
Yeah.
Well,
That too. But funny story about Gentleman Jack. Do you remember, Jenna, when we went to, what was it, Carmel or something? And our Jehovah's Witness grandmother was scrolling through the TV and she finds this like period piece show that she turns on. She stops to start watching it, and that's her type of shows. These period pieces, like
Drama.
Pride and Prejudice type thing. And I look over at Jenna and I go, how long does it take before she realizes this is a gay show? And she turns, not kidding, as soon as anything gay happened in it, she just changed the channel.
quickly moves on.
Without a word.
Yep, nothing, doesn't say anything, she just changed the channel.
Yeah.
I think I can't tell what I enjoy more when like they quietly try to change the channel like no one's gonna notice, or when they just go oh no, because there's something over the top, either gay or sexual, and they're just like I don't want to see that on my TV.
Yeah.
No, I very much respected Nana in that sense of like
She didn't bring
she
it.
didn't say anything. She's just like, oh, this is not something I'm gonna like, and just changed it.
I just always
Totally
think it's
fine.
funny sometimes, especially she won't say anything about the gay stuff, but the sexual stuff, she's always just like, oh no, but it's like she's not the only one I know who's like of the older generation that the minute something sexual comes on, they're just like, oh, I don't want to see this. It's like it's really funny to watch that. Sorry, you guys have that giant spike in my laugh.
You do. I just watched that.
What?
I just laughed really loud. And it was like that probably spiked the heck out of the mic.
Peaked very high.
But yeah, the funny thing, I started looking into some LGBTQ abroad books, trying to specifically look not necessarily in Europe, although I did end up in Europe a little bit too, but I started to look a little bit more from other places. And I had heard of the book Infidels, but I had never realized that it was LGBTQ. I think someone had talked about it at one point, and I was just like, oh, one day I'll look into that. But that's Abdella, and I'm going to pronounce this last name wrong, Tayaya, something like that. And
It's okay if you whisper it. Nobody will hear it anyway, so we're good.
It's the first openly gay novel from Morocco, where same-sex sexual activity has been illegal since 1962. So it's interesting. I didn't know. I had heard about it, but I didn't realize it was LGBTQ because I just saw infidels, and just there's so many things that could be wrong with that. But yeah, it has to do with a little boy who's the son of a prostitute and a prostitute witch doctor, and he turns out to be gay, I believe. But I think that a long time ago someone had talked about that, and I'd been like, oh, I want to read that. And now reading more about it and knowing more about that, I am kind of more curious. I want to put that on my TBR.
I started to read Fingersmiths, which is another European one. But that's the book that, what is it, The Handmaiden is based off of. It's a Korean movie.
The Handmaiden.
Yeah. That was originally a European book. It was like one of those things that was published as a series type thing. I started to read that. The problem is it starts off so slow, and until you get to that twist, it's so boring.
I think it was The Handmaid. I think it was either The Handmaid or just Handmaiden or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, the twist, there was like 4 twists in that movie.
Well, yeah. But the first big twist where it like completely changes the narrative.
Yeah.
That's where like it took forever to get to that point where I'm like, okay, I can't read this book.
Yeah. What was it? Why?
It was like reading any other story of like, oh, this poor person that's, being a maid, basically. They weren't a maid in that. They were something else, but just a pauper that got part of this family and was taking care of stuff, and it's like, there's nothing interesting going on right now, so I'm not going to bother.
Okay. Did you watch the movie?
I watched the movie Fingersmiths. I did not finish The Handmaiden, because once I started realizing what it was, I'm like, oh, I've already seen this before.
Okay,
so.
Yeah. It was very much a huge plot twist movie for me.
Yeah.
Where I was just like on the edge of my seat the entire time. Well, at least the last half.
Yeah.
Once it flips.
Yeah, there was like a 2-parter movie that is actually called Fingersmiths.
Okay.
I think. And I'd watched that one because I had heard about it. Because I'm like, oh, lesbians.
Did that one also include an octopus?
No.
Okay.
Don't think so.
Then it's very different.
Okay.
Sometimes I just feel like the most random words are thrown out when I'm half paying attention.
I also like the fact that we're so unprepared that literally all of us are just staring at our phones while we're talking to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Jenna with her son yesterday.
Oh my gosh, yes. Well, in all fairness, I was also reading Evelyn Hugo, guys. But yeah, what about you, Megan? Have you found any that you really want to put onto your list? Or?
Well, I found a couple that have like really intriguing titles, and I want to know if this is part of the translation or if it's literally like just how they title theirs. But on Reddit, someone requested international translated lesbian books, and one of the titles that one of the people suggested was Seriously Seeking Sister. Ultimate vampire princess just wants little sister. Plenty of service will be provided.
That's the entire title?
Hate this.
But I thought Marissa always has like these weird, unique titles, and I was like, oh, this is Marissa's alley.
No, it sounds terrible. I already hate it.
We don't know. So here's another one. Sexiled, my sexist party leader kicked me out, so I teamed up with the mythical sorceress.
Sexiled.
Which, honestly, that sounds fun to me. I want to team up with a mythical sorceress after being exiled. But yeah, so these are Japanese light novels. The first one that I mentioned, the one Seriously Seeking Sister, is by Hiiro no Ame. And then the second one is by Ameko Kaura. And I don't know, I thought those sounded pretty fun and interesting. And I imagine light novels, they're quick, easy, not heavily plotted.
So the most interesting title that I had found is The Skin is the Elastic Covering that Encases the Entire Body.
It's true. There is no lie there.
And it's by Bjorn Rasmussen.
It is technically, your skin is the largest organ, technically. So.
It sounds incredibly intense when I looked into I was like, wow, that sounds interesting. It sounds almost cannibalistic, which made me think of Marissa.
Yeah.
But it says that It said, deeply emotional, erotic, algaic, and pansexual. It caresses the wounds we visit upon our flesh and soul in an attempt to serve the urges of the body's largest organ, the skin that covers and defines us.
Told you.
I'm like,
Okay.
yeah, I thought that was the most interesting translated title that I saw, that I was like, whoa, that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Intense.
Intense, yeah.
But yeah. Speaking of interesting titles.
And that I wonder, is it part of the translation, or is it like, sometimes when you get the translation, it is completely off from what
Right.
the original title. Like, I'm thinking of a lot of K-pop songs where the Korean is like really, really long, and then the song title is just Boy in Love.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nope.
That's not exactly right.
I think the original Korean title is something like A Poem About the Small Things or something, and then the English title is Boy in Love, and I'm just like,
Wow.
that's not it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marissa, do you have any more? Or, of course, you better have more.
I better have more.
What's your next?
I don't have any more. This is the end of
That's
the
it.
episode.
All right, guys, thanks for joining us.
26 minutes in, guys. Bye.
It's to balance out our last episode.
Right, really. No, I think, the ones that I was thinking about, we've already mentioned before. One of them I mentioned last year, and I talked quite a bit last year about it. Once again, I think the author is American, but their roots were in Israeli? I don't remember. Hold on. Let me look up the title again. Okay, so the title is If You Could Be Mine by Sarah Farazan. And I definitely talked about it last year when we did our LGBT books. Iranian American writer who talks about Iranian girl who considers sex change to legally be with their girlfriend.
Oh,
I
right.
do remember that.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was the one where it was interesting because it's like it's illegal to be gay, but it's not illegal to be transgender.
Yeah.
So that one I do recommend. It's been a while since I've read it, so recommend it with a grain of salt, but it definitely stuck with me, and I thought it was a very interesting concept and true thing.
You said that
but not
one,
a true story.
Was that the one that you were just saying you think the author is American, but it was set in the Middle East or
No,
something?
yeah, the author is Iranian American.
Yeah.
But it's set in Iran.
So I think that that's a big thing that you have to think about too, is a lot of these authors, especially in countries where they
came over here.
Yeah, they
Yes.
still face huge discrimination, if not legal repercussions. The books might be written in America, but take place in their home countries.
Yeah.
Because they could never publish over there. Or if they could, they would face huge consequences.
Yeah.
So, I think I'd be more interested in reading a lot of Middle Eastern type books with that, because it is something where they still face huge discrimination, especially women. So women in general face discrimination, and then to throw in the homosexuality and lesbian aspects of it would be hard.
Yeah. One that keeps popping up in a list of recommendations is Notes on a Crocodile by Chiu Miaojin. Have you guys heard of anything about that one? I haven't either. But that one was recommended at least 4 times. And yeah, so that one is Taiwanese, which I think is pretty cool. And I actually kind of want to add that one to my list, just because if people are recommending it, at least, 3 or 4 different people are recommending it, then that's a pretty good recommendation in my book.
Here's one too for you that I thought you'd enjoy from Canada, Megan. It's called City of Strife by Claudie Arsenault, and Arsenault is an asexual and aromantic spectrum writer who writes sci-fi and fantasy.
Love it.
Led
What
by
is that called?
aromantic. City of Strife.
Because I also do need a Canadian writer for my my planner.
She also maintains a database of Arrow and Ace characters and books.
Oh,
she
yeah.
maintains that database, which I thought was cool. But yeah, she specifically writes sci-fi and fantasy with Arrow and Ace characters, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, I've just added that to my Goodreads. The cover on that one is also pretty cool looking as well.
And I think that they said something about having some gray sexual in there too. So, but yeah, obviously, as you know, I am highly romance driven, so it might not be up my alley, but I know that you have a lot more interest in the Arrow and Ace fictional world, so I thought you'll have to let me know how that is.
I was just talking about books with best friend Hannah, and she had read a Robin Hobb book, and she said it was actually really refreshing for her to read a book that wasn't centered around romance, because that seems to just be what it is these days. If there's no romance in it, people aren't interested. And it was The Assassin's Apprentice, and I think it was published in 1995.
I've seen that. It's popped up a lot
Yeah.
as something that I might be interested in.
Yeah, and she said, yeah, and I was like, well, I mean, back in 1995, nobody cared about romance
Right.
at all,
Except
unless
for
it was the
Bored
romance.
Housewives,
Yeah,
with the Fabio.
the Fabio
shirts.
covers, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so she was just saying it's kind of refreshing to have something that's slightly different, and there's no shadow daddies, and there's no like men who treat women poorly. Well, I guess actually, 1995 they probably did anyway, but
There's always misogyny somewhere.
somewhere, yep. But Robin Hobb is a woman, so they know what they're doing back in the
Yeah.
day.
Do you have any other recommendations, Marissa, that you have heard of or know about?
No. I did not do any research into this,
Yeah.
guys. This is all literally things that I just thought of today.
Okay.
So
hey, it's fine. Look, me and Megan are obviously so well read. We're looking at our phones to remember the things that I researched 5 minutes ago when you told me we were going to do this topic.
Yeah, that was this one we were not prepared for, guys. Last week we had like all of this history, all of these lists. This one it's like, let me look it up and see what I can find.
Well, I'll keep going then because I have this whole recommendation.
Yeah.
So, as you all know, Korea is special in my heart. So I have 2 from Korean authors, and one is called "Concerning My Daughter" by Haejin Kim, and that one is about a mother slowly learning to understand her lesbian daughter, which I think sounds pretty good as well. And then I had another one, "Violets" by Kyung-suk Shin. Yeah, and I also thought the book, The Vegetarian by Hangang might have also had some kind of what's it called? Like mention of her, but she was also just, The Vegetarian is just like this whole other unique book. So I can't specifically remember if there was any LGBT in there. But also, going back to my roots, when we were thinking about doing an episode on the history of LGBT books and our personal history, which we kind of talked about last year, a lot of mine stemmed from manga.
Right, yeah.
So, like, manga and anime. And I feel like Japan, even though I think gay marriage is still not legal in Japan, there's just so much gay stuff out there that they don't seem to shy away from, like, at all. So a couple of recommendations that I have for a series that I read. There was Sayuki, which is about the story of like Journey to the West and like Goku and all of that, the Monkey King. And that one has a goddess who is a hermaphrodite. And they also, Sailor Moon, the original Sailor Moon, not the scrubbed version.
Not that they're cousins.
Yeah, they're cousins.
They're cousins.
They're so
They
close
got
'cause
such,
they're cousins.
yeah, they got such a good relationship for cousins.
But I also just heard that I should look this up, but Evangelion was just like the Evangelion was just redubbed with, I think, a trans man. But I will look that up.
I mean, honestly, there's not a lot. Like, I've tried to look up, and I'm sure there's more, but I haven't found a lot of, like, manga that I like that's gay. Like, lesbian, I guess I should say. There's stuff like the most popular one is probably called Citrus, which is a very weird one because it's like stepsisters that fall in love type thing.
Okay.
So, and then like Sailor Moon, Fruit Basket.
I think it tends to fall into the, especially mangas, the hentai, where it's like more for the fantasy of men kind of lesbian.
Yeah, there's a lot of
It's
that. Yeah.
made by men for men to appreciate sometimes. And it's like, in that aspect, not that lesbian women can't enjoy that, but that's not what you're looking for.
Yeah.
I don't know, actually. I can't speak to hentai. I don't know anything about it, so whether or not that is actually what it's meant for. But every time I see hentai, it's nerdy boys looking at women kissing.
Sometimes nerdy girls, too.
Sometimes nerdy girls.
Hentai is not just for men.
Yeah.
But it's just not for me.
It's porn. It's made to be pornographic.
Yeah. It's
in
over the
nature.
top and weird, but it's fine.
Okay.
It's whatever somebody is into.
I need to correct myself. The voice actor of Evangelion came out as a transgender woman, but is actually now non-binary.
Oh, okay.
So yes. But yeah. So there are a lot of connections there. But yes, I'm trying to think of obviously, in a lot of those super popular animes and mangas back in the day, there's a lot of shipping.
Well, yeah.
So Sasuke and Naruto.
Yeah, it's not actual.
It's not actual canon.
It's not canon.
But I do remember. What was it? What was the one the ice skating show that came out?
Yuri on Ice?
Yeah.
I know, because when you look up Yuri to try to find Yuri, that is women and women, guess what you get? Yuri on Ice.
Which is two men.
Which is two men.
Oh, the men just come in and ruin everything, don't
Yeah,
they?
how dare they?
How dare they?
I think what's really funny is we talked about the titles of books, and I think that the fun thing with queer literature is how punny it can be sometimes. And I mean, not that heterosexual literature can't be punny, but it's just I find a lot of fun punny names, and I'm like, I want to read that purely for the name, and then I'm like, maybe the book actually isn't as good.
If I think punny names, I think it's contemporary
Yeah.
romance, so I don't really care for it.
not your type of stuff.
Breaking the ice.
But
That's
that's
ice skaters
mine.
that fall in love.
That's my thing. I like contemporary romance. So
One thing I've noticed with a lot of, especially contemporary books, is they take song lyrics now. So Abby Jimenez, which I just finished reading recently, was "Say You'll Remember Me," which is a Taylor Swift lyric. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of them that I've noticed that are doing that. So that's what I suggested for the Always Fully Booked Planner. They do a 2025 reading challenge every year. Well, not 2025. Anyway. And there's always prompts. So I suggested the title is a song lyric, because I feel like that's happened. I have one from India.
Ooh.
This one is called Cobalt Blue by Sachin Kundalkar, and it was translated from Marathi. And I know that India has a lot of dialects and languages in itself, so I just thought it was cool that I've never heard of the language called Marathi. So, yeah. So I have that one. And I feel I guess I just assumed, because the pantheon of Indian gods always felt very either non-binary or gender fluid to me, that they would have a lot more LGBT books. But I'm surprised that I couldn't find as many as I thought. Yeah.
Hey, Nikita Gill is British and Indian. I believe she's it's not Indian American, it's Indian British.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. But so all of her stuff is technically foreign to us.
There you go.
Yeah.
And obviously gay from some of the poems I've talked about.
Right.
I love Nikita Gill,
I do too.
even though I haven't read all her books.
I mean, I haven't even read all of them. I've got The Girl and the Goddess on my shelf. I still haven't read that. I think there's one other one that I know of. And then I always go to the store and I look and I'm like, it's always they have 2 books of hers and 2 that I've read.
Yeah. I'm surprised that there's not more of her books out and about, because I feel like I find her poems a lot on Pinterest, and
I think she's sort of lost her steam and popularity.
Oh, okay.
I think a few years ago she was really big, but she's kind of become a little bit less popular.
Yeah, makes sense.
But I don't know. I still love her and I still read all her stuff, so
I think what I've learned with this one is that I didn't realize how much of the literature that I consumed was American literature.
yeah.
And also made me want to do more research into foreign literature, and especially LGBTQ literature.
We always talk
So.
about that. same thing last year. I want to do more research into finding more gender fluid asexual books.
What I've also learned about myself is I don't do homework. I got out of college and I was just like, goodbye. Yeah, I want to. I really do. I think that I need to be better because this year I don't think I read as many. Actually, the funny thing is from June to June, when we last did our LGBTQ books, I think the only lesbian novel I've read was Jasmine Throne.
Yep. So that's 3.
Yep.
Good job.
3 novels. I might have read a gay novel in there. Might have. But that's it. And I told myself that I was going to look for queer. I told myself that I was going to look for trans. I told myself I was going to look. I did not.
Well,
I need to. I need to be better. Hold me accountable.
I did not read these yet, but I do have them on my list. At least 2 books that I put on my list that have either gender fluid, gender nonconforming, whatever. There's a book called Finna by Nino Cipri. I don't know. Once again, the title of this episode is I can't pronounce the name.
I can't pronounce this person's name, but
but that one has a non-binary character in it, and I guess it's something about like these 2 people work at like a Swedish furniture store, but not that one.
Not that one.
And somebody gets lost in the furniture store, and they have to go find them, and it's a weird, crazy adventure, supposedly. The other one I added is called Jericho by Rachel Mama, which is a post-apocalyptic, like, found family. These people get together, but the main character is non-binary in it.
Oh, cool.
So those 2 I added onto my list to read. I read samples of them. Jericho was okay. There were parts of it that it felt weird, but the other one, Finna, I look forward to reading that one. I just haven't yet.
Is Finna the name of the store?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't remember.
One that I remember reading in college was the Pillow Book of Seishonagon, which is like a super popular, and it's not a novel. That is, it is like a journal of a woman who was in the Heian court, and she was one of the ladies in waiting to the empress. And she would just keep a journal talking about like all the courtly gossip, and she would write poems. And a lot of her gossip was like, oh, these people got together, but because back then in Japanese like history, they didn't have like, there was nothing that was against gay or like lesbian or anything like that. It was all just like, oh, he's like the king, the empress's favorite, so he can't talk to anybody. But it was like subtly discussing the relationships and how like it's like a good history lesson, I think. Okay. And it's real. It's like it's a actual historical thing, nonfiction. And that's actually like one of my, I talk about not liking nonfiction, but it's actually one of my favorite books because it's just a woman talking about gossip, but it's also historical, and there's some poetry in there which I skipped over, but some of them were like, they have like haikus, or like they talk about there's a poetry contest or something. And so it was a lot of like, here's different versions of that specific poem. But yeah, that one was really interesting. And even though it doesn't explicitly say that any of the characters are like gay, it just still discusses like the different relationships between the people in the court.
That's cool.
So yeah, I recommend that one for readers out there.
It's funny. I think that the thing is that we have this like preconceived notion that nonfiction just means boring, and that it means
your history book that you're going to read for class.
Yeah, it seems like a book, textbook is what it feels like you're going to read. But it's like, and sometimes, don't get me wrong, there are some really boring nonfiction books out there. But oftentimes, I think authors more are getting into telling a story in a way that feels fictional in nonfiction. It feels like a story rather than just, here are the facts. Imagine the boring voice from all the movies reading all the textbooks going womp 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 like Charlie Brown.
It's like the difference between watching a documentary versus watching a retelling of the events that happen.
Right.
Yeah. So like if you're watching a movie like I talked about Pride, that's like a movie that's a retelling of it, so it's fictionalized in a way but it hits all the right beats and talks about all the right things.
Yeah.
Where you have something that's just actually like the History Channel telling you about the pyramids and how they were made and stuff like that. That's slightly different tone that you're going for.
Right.
So you'll get some of the books that are the History Channel books, and then you get some that are like Pride, where it's telling you a story that's an interesting story.
Also, I don't know why I feel like European books make me feel like I'm going to turn into a pretentious person if I start reading them.
What do you mean?
I just was thinking about that with a lot of it. I feel like all the people who are like, oh, you read fantasy books, I read literature. And it's like, I just feel like I'm going to turn into a pretentious person if I read too much European literature.
You go to the young adult section, I go to the fiction section.
Right, yeah, exactly. Especially, I don't know why, but lesbian literature from Europe feels very pretentious to me. And I don't know why that is in my brain.
The French.
It's
the
the
French.
French. 5,000%. I immediately imagine lesbians in a French apartment in Paris smoking their cigarettes and
their armpit hair flowing
in the wind.
My uncle would always say, anything fiction is brain rot.
Oh.
It'll rot your brain. He calls it the candy of books. Mm-hmm. And he would say only once a year would he allow himself to read one John Grisham book. And that would be it. And everything else had to be nonfiction. And I remember, because they would homeschool my cousins, he would say, they would say to my parents, for Christmas, here are the history books we want to get the kids. And my mom's like, here's movie tickets to the cinema down the road.
Where you watch your documentaries. Obviously.
Oh, right. Yeah. Watch the documentary about these people coming together to fight off aliens.
I feel like the John Grisham of your allowed candy is the lifesaver candies that old people have in their purse. Here's my one lifesaver that I'm allowed once.
But it has to be the mint flavor.
Oh yes,
it's like
Werther's original.
Original. Yeah.
Here's my one candy that I'm allowed because it's too much sugar otherwise, and it's sugar free is what it is.
Of course.
So.
Oh my gosh, in Korea,
Heaven forbid he reads fantasy.
Right. I would be in the subway and there would be elderly women, and there would be a child there. They'd reach in their purse, pull out a Halls, which is not candy.
Yeah.
But it's like the candy of cough drops, but it's not. It still has medicine in it, and they would hand it to the little baby. Not a baby, but like a child.
Yeah.
And then the parents would be like, okay, say thank you. And I'm just like, that's medicine. That is medicine. Do not give your child that.
Yeah.
Do not give your child that.
Oh my gosh.
But also, the social norms in Korea are significantly different. Like, I had to say to any of the foreign exchange students when I was at UC Riverside, because we had the extension center, which was all these foreign exchange students, and we were at Costco one time, and one of the guys goes up to a child in the cart and starts like playing with his cheeks, and I was like, stop it. And he's like, what? No, and then the mom like turned around and saw it, and she like got this look of horror on her face, and I was like, stop.
Oh my gosh.
But in Korea, you can do that.
Yeah.
You can like
just
go up to babies and like pick them up and like snuggle with them for a bit and then give them back to their parents. It's no big deal. Anyway, very much off topic for today's episode, but still.
I mean, no, we're talking about foreign.
Foreign, yeah, there you go.
It's foreign customs.
That baby could be gay. You don't know.
It could be.
Yeah. So that was a whole thing where I had to be like, cultural norms are so incredibly different.
Oh, totally. Watana tam Thai.
Yeah. Watana tam Thai.
Watana tam Thai.
Thai culture.
Thai culture.
Although apparently we say it very badly because I asked my Thai coworker about that. I was all like, I learned Watana tam Thai. And she's like, what are you talking about? Like, okay, well, I didn't really learn it apparently.
With a really bad English accent.
I would say my stepmom taught me that, but she's probably just babying me.
Yeah. She's like, oh, you got it great.
Yeah.
You're so good.
It's like every time we say swatika,
she
like, you're actually saying it wrong, but it's fine. You're trying.
My husband loves Thai food, and he will say, I want to make this. And he's like, oh, yeah, ask Marissa or Jenna, their dad's wife. what if she has a good recipe? And I was like, first off, you are telling me this in a Korean accent. And I'm pretty sure if I were to say that to them or to her, it would get so lost in translation.
I have to translate it from Korean to English to Thai.
Right, exactly. But yeah.
I was at work and I needed a Thai translator, and my coworker wasn't there yet. She started at like 4. But luckily we had somebody else that could come up. And I was just like, thank you for coming. I know how to say hi, thank you. That's very delicious. How are you?
That's very delicious.
And then list of foods.
and then it's a pleasure to meet you. I know about 5 phrases.
I keep telling myself I'm going to learn Thai because I feel like, okay, here's the problem. I want to learn all the languages of people that I know that speak other languages so that I can make them feel welcome.
Just become a polyglot, right?
Yes. But here's the thing. I also feel like I have ADHD when it comes to learning languages. I might have it in general. But I start and I learn about 10 phrases if I'm lucky, and then I move on to the next language and learn 4 phrases, and then move on to the next language and learn 3 phrases, and then go back to the first language and maybe learn. And it's like, and none of it actually makes sense, and I'm never going to be fluent in any of them because instead I just keep picking up phrases.
At least you're trying to learn something that's like people around you know it. I'm studying German.
Okay.
Nobody I know speaks German.
I started with French and was like, and then, as we all know, my brother.
Yes.
And then I thought, well, maybe I'll move to Italian. And then I was like, when am I ever going to use Italian? So then I thought, I'm going to start using it with people that I know and actually could utilize this. And I think I started with Spanish with Irene, just for fun. She was
well,
teaching
you did
me some
sign
fun.
language with our...
Yeah, I've known sign language most of my life, so then I got pretty fluent in sign language. Because our great aunt, her mom, so through marriage, she was deaf. So we knew a little bit of sign language growing up.
Yeah, we knew the ABCs and how to spell our names and stuff.
Yeah. And then I learned more because I was very fascinated with it, and it was one of those ones that I felt like is under taught and could be useful all the time.
All the time, yeah.
Here's what I didn't know going into sign language. Every country has its own sign language.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And so something that I was like, great, this will be great and useful everywhere. No, it's useful in America.
American Sign Language, ASL.
And and you use American Sign Language. My teacher did my first year know like 10 sign languages.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is cool. So she
a polyglot.
taught us.
Did she sign in an accent?
Probably. But yeah, she taught us, like, there's difference between mom, and I think she showed us mom and dad in like 4 of them just to show us how
so
different
cool.
it was.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the other ones were. But yeah, it's I think it's important to learn about other cultures, and I think that even if you know just a few phrases, I've especially found with sign language, I've found that it makes people much more excited because they feel like you care enough to learn about them. Mm-hmm. So even if you don't know how to say it well or you don't know much, it's like you take that person and you make them important. And I think that's what's important more than actually becoming fluent and being able to converse with them in their language.
Unless you're learning German, because they don't freaking care.
Unless you're learning Germans, because Germans don't show emotions. I saw a comedian that said that. They take all their energy for their emotions and they put it into making cars. And then they laughed and said, if Americans did that, Detroit would still be a place. Which I laughed because my dad's from Detroit.
I'll watch these videos of people like in Germany, and like there's this one guy, he'll go up and he'll order in German, and he always goes up and he says Ich übe Deutsch, which means I'm practicing German. And so he like tries to say it, they're just like, okay, and they'll like correct him on something, they're like, okay, and they just give it to him. It's like none of them are like, oh, okay, let me help you or anything. It's just like, I'm just here, can you order it properly? I speak English, you don't have to do it.
We had a German foreign exchange student in one of my art classes in high school, and I remember her talking in German, and I was like, I understand nothing. Like nothing.
You actually probably could understand a couple of things because it's same root language.
Yeah. I mean, she taught me I love you because I said, I know I love you in sign, and she goes, oh, ich liebe dich.
Yeah.
And I was like, Okay, and that's all I remember, and it was almost 20 years ago. Let's not talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I didn't learn much from German. I've learned a handful of things in French. Spanish and Italian share same roots, so I've carried a little bit of those across from each other.
I talked about that with Armando because he went to Italy. Or no, where did he go? I don't remember if it was Italy or Spain, but I asked him, well, like, do you speak the language? He's like, well, I speak Spanish, so I can
Close enough.
Yeah.
The funny thing is before I left the job that I was at, before I became a stay-at-home mom, my boss, the controller of the company, which if you're not in accounting, controller is just like right under the CFO. It sounds like they're way in charge, control, but no. But he was Korean, and I remember asking him a handful of times how to say different things in Korean, or asking Megan how to say things to him. I do not recall any of that.
Oh, yeah.
I think I asked Megan how to say hello or good morning or something to him. And I think I said it one time, and he got really excited, and I promptly forgot it.
Yeah. Even, what was it, like a couple of weeks ago, Jelani messaged me and was like, what does hyung mean in Korean? And I was like, oh, it's older brother. It's like the suffix that you would add to an older brother.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, so I can like say it to my husband. And he was like, I was like, yeah, you could do that. And he was just like, oh, okay. But the funny thing is, when I told Hanson about that, he was like, Jelani's like twice my size. So him saying like, Hunsap Hyung to me feels so weird because he could like bench press me. And I was like, honestly, yeah.
It's kind of like, what was that, the movie with like Danny DeVito? Was it Twins? With
Twins with Arnold Schwarzenegger. That was so funny.
Like, yeah, that's that feeling of like one's very small and one's very large. But yeah, it's yeah. I mean, I would have a better chance of remembering Kyung than good morning, because I think you gave me 3 different options for hello.
Yeah.
Well,
like, there's
the formal,
casual,
the casual,
semi-formal, and full formal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I like learning different phrases. I need to just keep like a notebook or something where I teach myself each of those. And then maybe one day I'll learn all the languages, and I could read all the books and all of their original translations, all the gay novels.
I did try to read Harry Potter in Korean, but it was really hard.
And then I will be the most pretentious person ever.
Oh, there you go. Speaking of pretentious.
Yes.
I do have a book that's like German short stories, and it's supposed to be like a learning book.
Oh, cool.
So it's like, you know, stupid stories you give like little kids to try to like learn different sentence structures and stuff like that, but it's actually there to help English speaking people learn German. And I've got the book that has a story in it, and then I have a notebook that goes along with it, so anytime I come across a word I don't know, I just write it down.
Yep.
And then I look it up later.
They actually say that's the best way to learn languages, is to go back and do it the way you would teach a child.
Yeah.
And teach yourself the way a child would learn, because, you know, children learn little things like common words, mom, dad.
But also, when I was learning Korean, one of my first words was hippo. When am I going to use hippo?
Oh, that's Duolingo. That's what Duolingo does. It's like, here you go.
This
The
was
owl
before,
eats this.
This is before Duolingo. But
my son says hoopa.
Hoopa. Well, honestly, yes.
Then he quickly learned hippo, and it made me sad.
I have a video of trying to teach Elias the face parts.
Oh, yeah.
In Korean, and he just smiled the whole time. It was pretty darn cute.
Yeah.
Hanson loved watching it.
Yeah, it's fun to, like, I don't know, it's fun to learn those words, but when are you going to use them? You're not really going to walk up to your mom and dad who don't speak that new language and be like, let me call you this in 5 different languages, because that's what I've learned, because I have ADHD.
Right.
Anyways, gotten pretty off topic, but
hey, we kind of talked about a broad stuff. It's just not queer literature now.
Yeah. And, you know, we did, I think we do have a pretty extensive list that we've given earlier in this episode. Yeah. But if anyone out there has any recommendations, please let us know, especially if it's either translated or just outside of America. We love to learn and add to our TBRs, as that's the whole reason of this podcast.
Particularly if it's translated well or incredibly badly.
There's no in between.
No in between. I don't want the medium translations. I want the very well and like, wow, this is reading like poetry, because these people wrote in a beautiful language.
And the all your base are belong to us.
Yes.
Kind of style.
Yes.
For the memes.
Exactly.
It just makes me think of have you ever seen those things where people translate song lyrics and it's like they'll translate it and then translate it back and then translate it into another language and then translate it back just to see like how messed up it could get.
Yeah.
So I did that for when my friends and I, my K-pop study group friends, we all met together at KCON last year, and I made a bunch of games. So one of them was like Jeopardy. And then another one was, or one of the Jeopardy categories was, what is the name of this band that has been translated? And then each category, because it's like, name that band for 100, and it was only translated once. And then I would always have to translate it back into English. And the one that gets you is the Netherlands. If you change it to Netherlandese, then it's like
weird.
It just switches it up. And I think one of the band's name was called Beast. And then it eventually was translated into Animal Instinct.
Animal Instinct.
Nice.
But yeah, that was fun.
I love it.
So yeah, if they can, that could be a fun game to play.
That would be fun.
Here's a book title translated 5 times. Can you guess the book title?
I like that. We should do that.
We should do
Let's
that.
do it, please.
So, all right. Any last final words? We have enough time, right? We can have a short episode.
We got it's over an hour now. We're
Okay.
good.
Okay.
Any
take
last
some stuff
final
off.
thoughts from you guys?
Let me quote myself from last year and say, I've learned that I don't know enough. Please give me more recommendations.
And we'll check in with you and just say, hey, Jenna, what gay books have you been reading?
Hold me accountable, because here's the thing. I get really lost in my rom-com world and suddenly realize I haven't read anything. Look, I'm reading the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. So there's one to add to my list. I would like to. Okay, my goal. I'm gonna give myself a goal this year.
We always do, but we never.
Before next June, I would like to read a lesbian novel, a gay novel, a trans novel, and a queer or gender fluid novel.
Okay.
So that's at least 4 novels.
I'll add that to my list too.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you saying? By the end of this year or
But
by
June
next year. So
June next year.
So
Okay.
365 days.
Ish.
Give or take.
I was gonna say I want to do that by the end of this year, but I've been picking through my TBR and actually trying to cut that down. So yes, I agree. By the time we check in, we will check in next year in volume 3.
I'd like to say that I'll read multiple of each subject, but
That'd
let's
be
be
fun.
honest.
Let's be honest.
Let's be honest. But yeah, I'd like to at least add 4 different novels that I have read on the Alphabet Mafia spectrum. And I'd like them to be at least 4 different types, fitting into a different letter.
Hey,
So even if it's bi or whatever.
I'll give you one that you can do for lesbians.
No way.
Yeah.
You have a lesbian recommendation?
One that's coming out by the end of the year.
Hey.
Bury our bones in the midnight soil, V.E. Schwab.
It's true. Lesbian vampires. Actually, you know what the funny thing is that I'm sitting here and I'm like, lesbian's going to be easy because I feel like I've talked about a few lesbian books and I'm like, oh, I want to read that. I want to read that. I want to read that.
I mean, I will have. I
want to read Carmilla.
I have one that's
wanna
probably
read
aromantic for you, which
Oh.
I suggested to you last year. Was the was it the Book Eaters? It might have been the Book Eaters, and it was also about motherhood.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was the Book Eaters, and that one is that one was really good.
Okay.
It was fantasy, kind of like spooky fantasy,
Okay.
but not really spooky. But their form of sustenance was
Books.
books. They
I remember
actually
you telling me
8
that.
pages of the books.
That's
anyway,
crazy.
what was yours, Marissa?
Oh, I was just gonna say Tasha Suri is coming out with another
Oh,
book
yes.
in October.
yes.
The
Right.
Isle in the Silver Sea.
We
For sure.
are for sure going to be reading that.
Yeah.
So, I was gonna say, there's your lesbian book.
Question
Yes.
though, would we maybe want to have that for our Fellowship of the Traveling Books next year, or can you wait? Is the question.
No, I'm just gonna read it. Okay, I'm just gonna read it. I don't need that annotated. I just want to read it. Yeah, so I already got my lesbian book lined up. I can just read another TJ Klune's book. That gives me a gay guy.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then I'll read Finna, and I've got my gender fluid, gender non-conforming one.
There you
So,
go.
That's 3 of the 4. I just got to finish by the end of the year.
You're good.
Yeah. Okay. So we can be vague. It doesn't have to be trans. It doesn't have to. It could just be. It has to be at least 4 books that fit into a different letter of the alphabet mafia.
Yeah.
So that's my goal.
Perfect.
There you go.
I like it.
All right.
Any other thoughts from you guys?
Yeah, no, I think I've said all I needed to say. But yes, we're always open to recommendations. Fill out our alphabet mafia list for us.
The mafia.
The mafia.
Sorry, last episode
We talked about the mafia being a part of.
Oh my gosh. That's funny.
Sorry.
I was going to say we should save that for Haley's episode, but I actually think it's better for the last episode.
What's that?
Haley's episode, because there's 4 of us, so we're like, we're the Brawless Book Guild Mafia. Brawless Book Mafia.
Oh, that could be the name of one of our titles.
I was just thinking the mafia from Stonewall.
Yeah, she
Right.
just goes, oh, look,
So
the mafia did care
so
about the lesbians and the gays.
The alphabet mafia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was the mafia at Stonewall.
Yeah.
Anyways.
All right. So before I sign us off, do you guys have other books that you're reading, or should we hop into books you want to read or will be reading next?
Should I focus and do just Pride books? Probably. But I also have to get my Yumi and the Nightmare Painter done before the end of the month. So that's going to be my next
true.
one.
Yeah, you got to
Yeah.
finish that.
Yeah, so I should be reading Pride books in June. I like to stick with my themes, but I also need to finish that one. So that one's going to be my next one.
Okay. How about you, Marissa?
Yeah, I might try that Finna book. I did start Lord of the Flies as our post had shown, which I want to go back and finish that. But like Jenna said, Pride Month, should probably read Pride books. So maybe I'll start Finna.
Okay. I am going to be hopping into The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo, which was my other option for our annotated books.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it was one of those that it said it was under 450 pages, but when I looked at the print of it, it was very small, so it's going to read like an over 450 pages, so that's why I also went for Yumi and the Nightmare Painter.
Yeah.
Also, Ryan gifted me Yumi and the Nightmare Painter, so I thought it'd be more fitting that he
There you go.
Gets to read
annotated
it
it
with
as
you.
well. So, but yeah, I'm going to hop into that one. I don't know if it's LGBT.
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. So, all right. With that, I have, as I close my phone, I have a quote for us that, of course, Marissa found because she's our quotester.
Once again,
And
we'll
of
butcher
course,
the name.
the name is not going to be able to be said.
Jenna has the name prepared
As much as possible.
in video form, so we will be able to hear it.
You can say the quote, and then I'll have it already.
Okay. So our quote is, "It is absolutely imperative that every human being's freedom and human rights are respected all over the world."
In Icelandic, her name is pronounced Johanna Sigurðardóttir.
So Johanna Zivozardóttir-ish, maybe.
And that is why we didn't try to pronounce it without using the YouTube video.
Yeah.
Sorry, Johanna, we are dumb Americans.
Yeah, please understand. I am fluent in Korean, but
Not Icelandic.
Icelandic is unique. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We're going to continue our LGBT books discussion next week as well. And where can they find this, Jenna? Wow.
None of us can
English
talk.
so well. Where can they find us, Jenna?
Everywhere. All over the place.
Nice.
Turn around the
We're in
corner.
your back room. You're in your backyard.
We're staring through the pictures with the creepy little eyes at you. No. You can find us. Type in hashtag Braless Book Guild anywhere. You can probably find us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and then anywhere that you listen to podcasts. And rate, review, subscribe. Do all that stuff. Make my job easier because I don't post things enough.
Perfect. All right. Thanks for joining. Bye.
Bye.